Alright, what is going on, guys? I figured today I'd give you a video, like a full introduction of this car. I've done a few videos on it already, but I haven't really kind of done like a full, walk around. So that's what exactly we're going to be doing today. I'm going to give you guys a full, not a Saab Kyle style full walk around, but full enough walk around so you kind of, pretty much know everything about the car. I'll start off by saying it's a 92 Oldsmobile Cutlass Ciera, which is on the GM A-body platform. This is on the same platform as the Buick Century, the Chevy Celebrity, and Pontiac 6000, I think. Yeah, Pontiac 6000. So this is going to be on the same platform of all, four of those cars. Well, three of the other cars. This would be the fourth car on the A-body platform. They made these cars from, I forget, I think 81 or 80, early 80s. I don't remember the exact in the 80s. I think it was either 80 or 81. They made the A-body all the way up to 1996. Now, quite honestly, the 92s, at least for these, like the Oldsmobiles, are actually like one of the best years. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. But these, believe it or not, the 92s are actually one of the best years. And then also like the 88s, like the earlier kind of ones, are a little bit better too. But the years like the 94s, 95s, 6, they weren't as good as the 92s and 93s. Now I also had a 93 as well. It was blue. I have a picture of it, but I don't really have any no videos or anything on it. I don't have my GoPro at the time. But yeah, that I had that for a while. I had both of them. I had this car, and I also had the blue car, which is a 93 Oldsmobile. But how should I start off? I guess I'll show you guys the engine. What this has in it is a 3.3 liter V6, which is why, in my opinion, this is one of the better A-bodies. It's because of that motor right there. After they had this motor, I think from 91 to 93, after 93 they put the 3.1 liter in there, or the 3100. This is the 3300. They weren't as good. They had oil leaking. They had issues, a couple issues with them, as these are more bulletproof than than the 3100s are. And the reason why the like the 88s, or I forget the year, I think it's like 87, 88, the reason why those are good is because they had the 3.8 liter, which is a great motor. If you know anything about, GM cars, the Grand National has a 3.8 liter with a turbocharger on it. The 3.8 in these, I believe, was slightly different, but it's still the same general motor, and they actually make pretty decent power for what they are. The 3300 is essentially a 3800. But it's slightly smaller, obviously, and there's a few differences, but it's based on the same engine, which is why I say the 3300 is one of the best motors to get the A-body. So that's that. Nothing too special. It's got a 3-speed automatic transmission. I forget what type it is, Turbo Hydromatic 125C or something. I don't remember, but that's the motor. It's front-wheel drive. These are front-wheel drive, not rear-wheel drive. They're really, honestly, there's nothing real special about them. They're kind of boring. You can't really have too much fun with them. But the reason why, this car is special to me is because it was my first car. I remember when I first got my license, and, I was cruising around the streets driving this. I remember I was all excited to get my stereo put in. I put this, I just saved up my money. I didn't have a job at the time. So I'm saving up my money, and I was, I finally got like speakers and stuff for it, But, this car used to belong to my mother. It was given to me. She bought this car, I believe, with like 50,000 miles on it. I don't remember the year. I mean, I got it in 2011. I was 18 at the time when I got my license. So, let's see. She got the car, if I got it in 2011, she probably got it, I'm trying to think what year, probably 09, probably, because she had it for a few years before I had gotten the car. Now there was no issues with it. It ran great and everything, but she ended up getting something a little bit newer. She started getting something a little bit newer. What is this guy doing? These fucking seniors around here. They're all delusional. Okay, I don't know what he's doing. Okay, but whatever. Yeah, she got it with 50,000 miles, I believe, something like that. I remember we test drove it. Everything was good with it. Checked out. It was a great car. Like I said, she had no issues with it. I got it. I haven't had any real issues with it. A couple things here and there, like I had to do brakes. You know, a few things. She actually ended up putting a head unit in. I changed the head unit out, but she had a Kenwood, but it didn't have a USB. So I remember I ended up doing that. She never did speakers. You know, these older cars, her speakers are actually cardboard speakers. They're complete trash. But whatever. Oh, I didn't see how many miles. It currently now has 110 on it. I actually have a picture, or I did. I think I have it somewhere. I think it's on my old flip phone that I used to have. So that goes to show you how long I've had this car. I actually have a picture of the odometer at 99,000 miles. Or not 99,000, 900 and, I mean, yeah, 99,000 miles, sorry. I'm thinking, yeah, 900 on 9,000 miles. Thing's doing great for that many miles, Christ. But recently, it sat for a while. The reason why I took it off the road is because I was having an issue with it, which I'm still having. I explained that in another video, my previous video with it. But I was having a problem with the torque converter like locking up or whatever, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And like I said, at the time I had 2 cars, so I was like, you know what, I'll just take this one off the road for now. I'll just drive the blue car around, which is, like I said, my 93 Oldsmobile Ciera. So I drove that around for a while, and I knew I always wanted to keep this car. I never really, after I fell in love with it, it being my first car, I was like, you know what, I really don't want to make this a daily driver. I want to try to keep this car as long as possible. So that's why reason why I started driving the blue car. Now after driving that car for a while, it started getting issues. That car had like 170,000 miles on it. It was still a great running car and everything, but it was starting to show its age. It would after it sat for like a week, you start it up, it would burn some oil, things like that, just little things. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It did still run good, but the main reason why I got rid of it was because if you gave it too much gas, the throttle cable or the shift cable for it would slip, and what happened is the car wouldn't shift. It could be stuck in first gear. So I couldn't, I had no passing gear. I couldn't, like if I had to give it some gas and like downshift, the whole thing it was a pain. I'd literally have to pull over to the side of the road and pull the shift cable. I just got tired of dealing with it. It was too much. Started getting a misfire because the one spark plug wire was messed up, so I replaced the spark plug wire, but then like after a week or something, or actually no, after like a couple months, the wire got like ripped up again. I forget. It was just, the car it was becoming more aggravating than it was worth driving. So that's why I bought the Crown Vic. And then at one point I had 3 cars, but like I said, I didn't really use the blue car, and this one obviously wasn't being used. I was mainly just using the Crown Vic. But then I got rid of the blue car, that's gone, so now I'm back down to just this and the Crown Vic. But so that's kind of a little bit more of the backstory on this. Like I said, my mother had purchased it and then it was given to me. But I mean, I haven't really done anything to it. Pretty much how you see this car is how it came, honestly, from the factory. Besides the head unit, speakers, that's it. I mean, this car is pretty much, factory. It hasn't been painted. The paint is in pretty decent shape. I mean, considering how old it is, I'd say this paint is in pretty good shape. I mean, it's still got a nice shine to it. The biggest paint issue is over here along the fender. As you can see, it's all cracking and what have you. But that is the only actually real paint issue. I mean, besides this is obviously a paint issue, but that's not because of the paint. It's because it's starting to get a little bit of rust. So that's not really a paint issue. It's not rusty. It's pretty clean. I mean, if you look, it does have a little bit of surface stuff here. Nothing real dramatic. If you look, it's not rotted through. The metal's still here. You know what I mean? It still has metal. So it's all solid. It's just a little tiny bit of surface. That's really all it is. The interior is really clean on it. I mean, if you look, it's pretty clean back here. I mean, there's a little stain right there on the rug. But I mean, if you lift up the mats, I mean, it's clean. There's This car has always had mats in it. The back seat's in great shape. There's really no stains. The interior's in really good shape. You know, I love the red interior. That's actually another reason why I kind of love this car. I don't know, it's just, this car is just so 90s with that red interior. This is the biggest interior issue, which happens on all these, with that little tube that goes around the seat, you know, because that's where your leg sits. My leg, well, at least my leg sits there. And this is from getting in and out. Same with this, it's from getting in and out. So, there's a little burn hole there. My mom is a smoker, so she did smoke in it. But even if you look at the headliner, it is sagging a little bit. But considering this is, you know, the original headliner, it's really not that bad. It's got a little bit of a sag, but I mean, these pretty much hold it up. If you look, it does sag a little bit, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe in the future, eventually I'll get a headliner for it, but I'm not going to do that until it really starts to sag. And right now, it seems to be holding up pretty well. So, but even here, you know, this isn't really all dirty. It's a little bit dirty, you can tell, but I mean, it's still really in great shape, the interior. The dash has no cracks or anything. You know, everything is nice and solid with this. You know, your traditional 90s GM, you know, air conditioning and heating. You know, the standard air controls. You know, that's pretty much how it was. I still have the original head unit somewhere, I think. It's nothing real special. It's like a typical GM 90s, 80s crappy stereo. This, believe it or not, does have auto window down. Just on the driver window, but still a nice little feature considering this is from 92. I mean, that was, you know, that was an option back then. Has cruise control. The cruise is on this, like the stalk here. This is the cruise. This is the tilt the wheel. Obviously, has to put it in the gear. This is the hazard. These work kind of weird. You like push it in, which doesn't want to go in. There you go. Push it in, and when you're done with the hazard, you pull it out. They're kind of weird hazard lights, but whatever. I don't think I have anything in here. No, I don't have anything in here. Now, I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but I have, in all my cars, I have bouncy balls in them. That all started, believe it or not, with this car. When my mom gave me this car, I guess from the previous owner, they left the bouncy ball in here. And she didn't even know it was in there. I just so happened just to find it in there one day in the glove box. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to hang that from, you know, I'm going to hang that from my, you know, my mirror. So we drilled it out. We put a little, you know, thing in there to hold it and fishing line. So, I don't know. That became like my signature thing. All my cars now have bouncy balls. That's why if you look at my Crown Vic, there's a bouncy ball hanging from it. So that's like one of the, this is the car that started the bouncy ball thing. What else? This right here is the only thing that I've ever stole in my whole entire life. I'm not gonna say where I stole it from, but let's just say it was from a hardware store. And the reason why I stole it was because it was not in the package. It was literally just laying. It was literally just laying, like on like the shelves. Someone ripped it out of the package and left it there. So I was like, well, they can't sell it, and I couldn't buy it even if I wanted to, so I'm gonna just take it. And that's what I did. I took it. That is the only thing that I've ever stole my whole entire life. Here's the trunk. Pretty big. Now, it goes back deeper, but since my box is there, obviously you can't put anything back there, but even still with the box, this is still a pretty decent sized trunk. In fact, I'm gonna say this is almost on the same level as my Crown Vic. Definitely, like, lengthwise, like depth-wise, well, not depth-wise, but lengthwise, this is actually bigger than the Crown Vic. But depth-wise, that's where a Crown Vic really shines. When you go, like, straight down, that's where they're really good. And that's what makes Crown Vic trunks so big. Like, you can fit 3 people back here, probably 2 people back here, pretty comfortably. So, you can actually fit a lot of people back there. It's a pretty decent-sized trunk. I mean, I've gotten 2 bikes back there before, 2 mountain bikes. So, you know, it's... What is this? I don't know what that is. I'm gonna stay there for now, whatever it is. But, eventually I'm gonna do a review on these tires. In case you guys are thinking about getting tires. The Hankook Optimo H724. By the way, my tire size is P185 75 R14. I gotta be honest, it's a horrible, horrible tire size. I don't know why that was like a normal tire size back in the day. I don't know if it's the tires, but I don't know. I'll do a review on them. Trust me, you guys will probably like that one. I don't know, whatever. Oh, another thing too, if your car's from 95 and older, it is inspection exempt, so I don't have to get this inspected since it's OBD1. But I mean, here it is, guys. You know, this is my first car. This is what started it all. I don't say it started. I mean, I've loved cars since, you know, I was a kid, but this was my first. This is the first car that I have, you know. I don't think it's the first car I drove, but it's the first car that I, you know, owned, and, you know, like I said, I have a lot of good times in this car. I have a lot of memories. Just like my Crown Vic, I have a lot of memories in that car. You know, I hope, you know, I don't think I ever would get rid of my Crown Vic, but I guess if I did get the right price, I would sell it. But here it is, guys. Any questions, comments, or anything, just let me know. I'll answer whatever I can. And there will be more videos on this car. I don't really know what else I'm going to do with it. Like I said, I'm going to do a tire review. I'm sure there will be more videos, especially if there's any issues or whatever that I fix with it. But, you know, I'm going to try to mix it up between, you know, like the Crown Vic and Oldsmobile. Eventually, too, I hope to add on this channel a Jeep. I do want to get a Jeep eventually, like a Cherokee. So we'll have to see. You know, I'm kind of in the midst of like moving right now. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, but that's pretty much it. Like I said, questions, comments, let me know down below. I'll try to answer whatever. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.